In the summer of 2013, Stephen McDade, his girlfriend Taylor Jones, and their 5-year-old daughter Isabel move into a small suburban home.
One of the reasons why I like living outdoors this way is there's woods. I love to hunt and fish the rivers and the creeks.
The Ohio River is right there. It's very quaint. It's very quiet. And we like that. Quiet is good.
Guys?
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What do you have?
Luna, take it.
Me and Taylor were living with my father, and after we had Isabel, we decided it was time to get our own place and move out and start our life together.
It's a natural next step for this young couple who've been together nearly 9 years.
Taylor, she's beautiful. She is my best friend, and we love each other to death.
He's just all around a great person. I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, you think of family, and I see us. I've never been happier.
There you
Good.
go.
Oh, go play with Luna.
Thought it'd just be a great place that we could raise our little girl, grow as a family, keep strong, and be good to each other.
Luna's got a better house than I do.
I know.
Built in the early 1900s, the home includes a refurbished attic, which now serves as Isabel's bedroom.
Isabel has her own little penthouse upstairs. She's very happy to have her own space and plenty of room to be running around. Mainly, we wanted Isabel to be comfortable and happy.
Stephen is an avid hunter and keeps a handgun in the home for protection.
My main concern with having a gun was Isabel. She's been around guns, you know. Her daddy, he's an avid hunter. We're very, very cautious with it.
Don't shoot.
Whatever. Hey, before you go, you think maybe you could sit down? I got something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So I was thinking that, now that we have our own place, maybe we could, invite your mom over.
Taylor hasn't seen her mother for nearly 10 years. Stephen hopes that they can mend their broken relationship.
She talked about her mother, Joyce. She wasn't in her life too much. They had a falling out, and I know they just have a hard time seeing eye to eye.
The kind of person she is, the things she's done, I don't know.
My mother left me when I was very young and went over to Germany and got caught up in some things that she should not have gotten caught up in. She got into black magic. She drank human blood from a chalice. She has a pentagram tattooed on her. My dad did anything and everything he could to keep me safe because being with my mother was not a safe environment. It was very ugly. It was very ugly.
People change. Maybe you guys can work it out.
Family's a big part of our lives. I wanted Taylor to try to reach out to her mother because I think everybody needs to be forgiven, given a second chance.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Taylor finally agrees, not for herself, but for her daughter, Isabel.
We need to get Isabel and Mom together to really make sure that there's a relationship there with the two of them because I had a wonderful relationship with my grandmother.
Any word yet?
No, not yet.
Despite Taylor's misgivings, later that summer, the day arrives when estranged mother and daughter are reunited.
I had my worries, I had my concerns, I had my fears, but the thing that kept, overcoming all of that was, people change. Taylor, you have to remember that people change. It's okay.
I was happy to hear that Taylor wanted her mother to come out and spend time with us. I was hoping for the best.
Taylor.
I really didn't know what I was expecting.
How are you? Hello, darling.
Hello, Joyce.
Have you been eating? You look terrible. Way too thin.
Immediately, out of her mouth was the judgment.
Hi, I'm Steven. It's nice to finally meet you.
When I met Joyce, the vibe she put off was hateful in a way.
Isabel, This is Joyce, my mother.
Your grandmother.
Isabel stayed back a little bit. I think that it was a little strange for her.
Aren't you just precious? Do you have a hug for your grandma?
Luna!
My mother, when she saw Isabel, she's looking basically at a child that looks so much like me at that age. The age that she turned her back to me.
I'm sure it was a long trip. I'm sure you're ready to get settled. Let me show you where you're staying.
I was hoping they could build their relationship back up, but I was still nervous. I didn't want Taylor to get hurt again.
Be nice.
You'll be staying in Isabel's room. I hope that's all right. She can sleep with Steven and me. There's fresh towels in the bathroom, and help yourself to anything in the fridge.
You know, there's a presence here. Right here in this room with us.
What?
You have a ghost. I know you're here. I can feel you.
Joyce, please don't say that kind of thing in my home.
Have some respect. We have a child in this home. That is no place for you to sit here and start picking at spirits, ghosts, entities, whatever.
And Taylor, please call me Mom.
It was just a negative vibe.
That night, Joyce attempts to make contact with the spirit she believes is trapped in the house.
I know you're here. Show yourself to me. Come forward. Come forward. Come and show yourself. I command you.
Soon after settling into their new home, Taylor Jones invites her estranged mother for a visit.
Taylor.
My mother and I, we had a relationship when I was younger, and then it fell apart.
Hello, darling.
So as an adult, there was 10 years that went by.
Hello, Joyce.
Taylor's father kept her away from Joyce once he found out she practiced black magic.
There was a lot of ugliness that happened. There were a lot of things that she got into that I didn't understand as a child. I had lost her so many times before.
You know, there's a presence here.
I kept in the back of my mind, don't get your hopes up.
That night, Joyce is staying in her granddaughter's attic bedroom
I know you're here.
when she makes contact with what she believes is a ghost. Downstairs, Taylor is suddenly overcome with an uneasy feeling.
I didn't feel right. Something was off. You could feel a coolness.
Come out. You can't hide. Show yourself. I know you're here. Come and show yourself. I command you.
What the hell do you think you're doing? And don't lie to me, I heard you.
I'm simply communicating with the spirits in your house.
I was mortified. This is supposed to be my mother, and she's going against everything that I believe.
I think I know what happened here.
Joyce senses a presence in the house.
She said, there's a little girl that lives in there. She said that she felt that little girl was hurting bad.
And she is not alone. A darker spirit is with her.
She sensed there was something else here with us, that there were other spirits here.
But Taylor refuses to listen.
I told you I didn't want you to do this. No more, Mother.
I told her point blank, I said, you need to shut your mouth. We have a child in this home. You are putting us all in danger in doing this.
I want you out.
Black magic, it affects everybody around you. Everybody. I don't know everything that she's done. I don't know what she's capable of.
Distraught, Taylor tells Stephen that she wants her mother to leave as soon as possible.
I felt violated. Our home at that point, completely 100% had been violated. I told Stephen, I can't have her in my life. I can't do this. This is an ugly circle. It's not fair for Isabel to see me upset. It's not fair for her to feel tension.
I knew she played with black magic when she was out of the States. One of the first things she did was to try to egg on the spirits. Joyce, she was gonna have to go.
It's now been 2 months since Joyce's departure. All seems normal, but Taylor fears her mother's black magic may have conjured up something in the house.
When she left, I was definitely on the lookout that she didn't stir things up.
I would have to try to calm Taylor down. Don't think about it. Don't put too much thought into it.
I heard giggling, little girl giggling.
It's coming from Isabel's room.
I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my God, no, she needs to be sleeping.
What happened then? That's silly. Here, do you want to play with this? Oh my.
What are you doing?
Playing with my friends?
You're supposed to be in bed, young lady.
She's sitting there on her floor as if she was interacting with somebody.
It's a school night.
Laughing, giggling.
It's bedtime, not playtime. I don't want to hear another noise coming from up here, okay?
Okay.
Close your eyes, Isabel.
For the past few months, Stephen McDade, Taylor Jones, and their 5-year-old daughter Isabel have been living a peaceful life in their new Ohio home. Until Taylor's mother comes for a visit.
Come and show yourself. I command you.
Joyce likes to stir things up. If there are entities or energies or spirits, she instigates them.
But before Joyce can warn her daughter about what she saw, Taylor demands that she leave.
I want you out.
Soon after Joyce's departure, Isabel begins playing with an imaginary friend. At first, her parents aren't concerned.
I tried to brush it off as kids in their imaginations.
I really didn't worry too much about it.
Until Isabel's playmate appears in one of her drawings.
When we asked her about the picture, well, who's this right here? There's Isabel, there's Mommy, there's Daddy, and there's my friend.
Taylor and Stephen quickly realize that to Isabel, the little girl is very real.
Okay, then the wheels start turning. Who is she talking to? I was getting nervous. I was getting anxious.
Kind of threw me off. First thing that went through my head was, it seems like something out of a scary movie.
But unbeknownst to Taylor and Stephen, Isabel's ghostly friend has a dark secret. A second spirit lurks in the house, and he is terrifying. As the weeks pass, Isabel grows more and more anxious, refusing to enter her attic bedroom.
She was scared of something that was in the house. That's when I started getting a little concerned and worried.
Isabel was telling us that it felt like there was somebody behind her all the time. She didn't feel like she was alone.
It's okay.
She just didn't want to be up there. She did not want to be up there.
Isabel?
What we ended up finding out, I wouldn't have wanted to be up there either.
One weekend, Stephen goes out of town.
I was going out on a hunting trip, me and my father. I never liked leaving Taylor and Isabel by themselves. This time I was a little bit more worried with the stuff that was going on in the house.
I miss Stephen when he leaves, you know, I was having a hard time sleeping. Luna was right next to me. All of a sudden, she started barking.
Is it Luna?
She was locked on something.
What is it, Luna? What's that?
My initial reaction, I need to protect my child. There's somebody there. Every hair on my body was standing on end. I could sense there was something there.
Luna suddenly grows quiet.
When Luna kind of backed off, I was like, all right, whatever that was is gone.
Oh, girl. It's okay. It's okay, Luna. Oh, girl.
For the past few weeks, 5-year-old Isabel
Do you want to play with this?
has been passing the time with an imaginary playmate.
I didn't feel like it was something to worry about.
But is it just a pretend friend? Or could it be a ghost? One weekend, her dad goes on a hunting trip, leaving Isabel and her mom alone in the house.
What is it, Luna?
Taylor grabs one of the guns the family keeps in the house for protection.
Oh, girl. It's okay.
There was a man standing plain as day. I had my .38 in position ready to fire.
Then in an instant, he's gone. Taylor now feels certain her house is haunted.
I was so scared. I couldn't deny that there was a ghost in my house. People say, oh, you're crazy, that stuff doesn't exist. It exists. It is real. It is very real.
When Stephen comes home, Taylor tells him about her terrifying encounter.
All the doors were locked. There was nothing, and so I come back over here to Luna, and she will not go into the kitchen. She's staying here and refuses to go in.
You could just see it all over her face that something happened to her. She said that she's seen somebody at the door that was there, but wasn't there. She was pretty shook up about it.
And when I turn around, there's just a guy standing there.
There's nothing that I could do. Nothing. If this is a ghost, I have no control. When am I going to see something next? When am I going to feel something next? There was a total feeling of helplessness.
Stephen tries to comfort Taylor, but he doesn't know what to do.
Taylor started to feel the presence around her all the time. And I know it scared her. I would just try to reassure her as much as I could.
Stephen is our protector, you know. He takes care of us girls and would never want us to feel unsafe. And at that point, I knew Stephen could not comfort those feelings.
Over the next few days, he attempts to carry on with everyday life, hoping these strange occurrences will stop on their own.
I've always believed in ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, but I'd always would try to debunk it. Don't put too much thought into it. Pay no attention to them, and maybe, hopefully, it would just go away.
But lately, he can't shake the feeling that he's being watched.
I was getting creepy feelings. And I happened to glance up. There was a guy standing up there in Isabel's bedroom. Got in the house, there's nobody there.
Like Taylor, Stephen is now convinced that the house is haunted.
I kind of knew right away that it wasn't a human. Yeah, I mean, what's a guy to do? A ghost or a spirit? I mean, you can't throw a punch at him and make him back off or anything like that. I kind of felt helpless. I didn't know what to do.
Stephen and I had a long talk, and we need to get somebody in here. And we need to do it fast before this escalates even more.
Desperate for help, Stephen and Taylor contact husband and wife paranormal investigators Patty and Lee Allen of Paravisions.
Taylor, she mentioned that her mother, Joyce, was doing some black magic here.
Black magic often employs spells or curses meant to inflict harm.
Black magic is not something to be toyed with. I thought it was a potential trigger.
Patty uses an EMF meter to look for fluctuations in electromagnetic energy. Lee has the psychic ability to sense paranormal activity.
I actually not just see, but I can actually feel what they're feeling, the spirit. Standing there, I felt overwhelmed.
Suddenly, Lee has a vision.
You know how when your hands fall asleep, that sensation? My whole body felt that way. As soon as I get that sensation, it's on.
All right, fellas, where we at?
It's on you now.
Yeah.
Stand you up, gentlemen.
In the vision, three men are gambling at a table in the house when one of them grows increasingly frustrated.
Full house. Lick it right.
He was sitting with these two guys. Something came upon him that he didn't like the way the guy was dealing the cards.
Money's all in.
You think you can get away with cheating me?
Hey, don't blame me now. It's just not your lucky day. Oh, come on, man. What's going on? Come on.
He went a little ballistic.
Can you believe this guy? We just basically started here. I think something funny's going on.
This is just straight out of town here.
Hey, what the hell? Oh, my God.
It's not my lucky night, right?
No. Hey, what the hell? No.
And he wasn't going to take it anymore. And he shot them.
The killer hears a noise coming from the attic.
All of a sudden, he went upstairs.
In a small home outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, a family of three has been haunted by the ghosts of two tormented souls a frightened little girl, and a sinister man.
You come in the house and it'd be like a creepy vibe. My biggest concern at that point was the safety of my girls.
In an effort to reclaim their home, the family calls in paranormal investigators Patty and Lee Allen of Paravisions. Suddenly, Lee has a vision of a tragic incident he believes took place inside the house many years ago.
You think you can get away with cheating me?
It don't matter if it's 1800, 1920, 1999. I'm there in that time frame.
Oh, hey, come on.
I feel everything that was going on at that time.
Hey, what the hell? Oh, my God.
Not my lucky night, right?
No, man.
The first thing I thought was I gotta follow this guy.
In the attic, Lee sees a little girl hiding in fear.
She was so scared, just shaken and cold. She was so terrified that even if she breathed, she felt like he was gonna hear it.
Lee snaps out of his trance and into present-day reality.
She's dead.
What did you see?
He killed them all.
He said, there's bodies in here. He said, I can just smell the blood.
2 men and a little girl. The little girl. She's here. She's upstairs.
Lee believes they are dealing with what's called a residual haunting, in which a traumatic event is replayed over and over.
Residual hauntings that's affecting this home is something that happened at its time, and it constantly repeats itself. It's a stamp of memory, and she was still trapped in that time frame.
Come help me. We're gonna cross this little girl over.
When a spirit has not crossed over, my belief is that they needed their story to be told.
It's okay. What's your name?
Tiffany?
Well, that's a pretty name.
Although Patty cannot see Tiffany, she can feel her.
Sitting there, the entire left hand in front of my body was freezing cold.
You've passed on, Tiffany. That means you don't have to stay here. You can go to a place where nothing will ever hurt you again. I can help. All you gotta do is look to the light.
A crossover you can do just by prayers. You can lead them to the light. If they see it, they can go. You just got to talk to them, convince them, and let them know that it's okay.
Dear God, take this spirit, your child. Help her to cross over. Take away her pain and suffering. Save her as only you can do. Amen. It's okay. It's okay.
I felt as if the energy in the room had changed. And I couldn't feel a pressure on my hand anymore. The coldness left, and it was that warm sensation from my head all the way down to my toes. I felt with everything I had that she was safe, that she was gone, and that she was in a better place.
It brought tears to my eyes because we shared this moment with this little girl. And our Creator was right there, and He brought us all together. And she went to her resting place.
Suddenly, Lee is struck by another vision.
Lee? What's wrong?
Killer's still here. Isabel isn't safe. No one in the family is.
For more than 6 months, Taylor, Stephen, and their daughter Isabel have been haunted by two spirits.
Living through something like this, it's terrifying.
Paranormal investigators finally released the soul of one of the ghosts, a victim of murder. But for the family, the ordeal is far from over. The other entity, the girl's killer, is still there.
Now with the girl gone, we were worried that he would turn his attention to either Isabel or Taylor and undo everything we had tried to do by calming the house down.
To rid the house of the evil ghost, Lee approaches him with compassion.
A normal paranormal investigator would just have went in and they would have attacked him. They would have provoked him. But then I got to think of him not as just a creepy crook that killed these people, but he's got a heart just like us. And I think he's entitled to justice just as well.
Where is she?
He knew I was there. He knew I could see.
You can't have her. You have to go now, too. You have turned your back on God. But all you have to do is turn around, and He will acknowledge you.
I told him, I says, I'm not here to judge you for what you did to those guys downstairs, what you did to that little girl. I'm here to help you. I'm here for you to cross over. I'm here for you.
I'm going to pray for you.
The gunman concedes his fate and allows Lee to guide him to the spirit world.
Forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Amen. It's over.
The atmosphere in the room definitely lifted. It's as if we could all finally breathe again.
When I feel it in my heart, I know the spirit is gone.
But there are still unanswered questions. Who were these spirits who appeared in Lee's vision? To this day, their identities remain a mystery.
When we researched, I was unable to find any documentation of the death of a small child in that area.
As for Taylor's mother, the family has not renewed contact since she visited their home. But they will always wonder whether her black magic awakened the spirits,
Come and show yourself. I command you.
or if these entities were already attached to the house.
I believe that this case was sort of a perfect storm, with the history of our client's mother delving into some black magic, along with the residual of the building itself.
I know it had something to do with her. It definitely got very active after she left.
Whatever the answers, Stephen, Taylor, and Isabel will be forever grateful to Lee and Patty.
I love Paravisions because they're worried about my family, and they just wanted to help us out.
We are extremely grateful. They listen to us. They care. And I'll forever be thankful because they calmed our house down.
In June 2014, Stephen McDade and Taylor Jones wed in a small ceremony. Their daughter Isabel serves as their flower girl.
I'm very happy that I finally made Taylor an honest woman and we got married under the eyes of God.
Today, the McDade family is living peacefully in the same home they moved into nearly a year ago.
The helplessness has lifted, the fear is gone, and I love having our happy home back.
It feels like a home again now, like when we first moved in, before all the activity started. It feels like our house now.
Our daughter loves being in her room now. She has no issue going anywhere in the house anymore. She's not afraid. There's no problems, none whatsoever.